Yes, indeed. It's 2 minutes before the hour of 1 o'clock, and you are tuned in to the big station Q95. At 1 o'clock, we begin the talk. Special good afternoon to all of you that are tuned in to the big station at this time. Let me say a very special welcome to you. I know it's the lunch hour. You must be anxious to get out of this office and to get something to eat. Bon appetit this afternoon. Music of Dominica's very own Nasio Fontaine in the afternoon. As we get set for the talk, keep it locked to the big station Q95. Of course, as we told you before, we'll be discussing this very critical topic this afternoon, what happened in La Plaine over the weekend. So stay tuned for that.
At Fresh Vitamins, we've got everything you need for health and well-being. We carry a wide range of all-natural sports nutrition and health supplements, plus gluten-free and organic foods, all from quality brands, including Solaray, Cal, Bob's Red Mill, Nature's Way, Source Naturals, and Designer Way. Fresh Vitamins has 2 convenient locations. We're at number 7, Great George Street, Roseau, and we're in Portsmouth, inside IGA Whitchurch Supermarket. Join our discount club and save up to 20% every day on your purchases. Like us on Facebook to stay informed about our products and specials. Come into Fresh Vitamins today and get healthy. Get healthy.
Oh, good it is to see your glory rise.
It's 1:00 of 1 o'clock. We'll begin the talk in just a little bit, but already someone is on the telephone. Let's see. Yes, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Okay. I would ask that you try your call again.
Your weeping may endure through the night. Through the night. But then joy cometh in the morning light.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, is this Dr. Fountain?
Speaking, yes.
Yes. May I speak to you off air, please?
Okay, you want to call 449-1095. 449-1095.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
Give thanks and praises for his mercies, for judge your mercies towards humanity. Lord, the Lord, present for the herb that grows, and the wind and the breeze that blows. Oh, give your praises. When you give your thanks and praises, praise him in the morning time, praise him in the evening time. You hear what I say? When you give your thanks and praises, I thank you, Lord, for everything you've done for me. Thank you for the victory. I'm giving thanks and praises. When you give your thanks and praises, praise it for the birds and the trees and the fish and the waters of the seas. Oh, give your thanks, praise. When you give your thanks and praises, in the morning, in the evening, oh. Thank you, Lord, for everything you've done for me. Thank you for the victory. I'm giving thanks and praises. Truth and truth alone. Say the truth will reveal you now. You see their faces, but you never know their thoughts. Every baby knows that dog is cheap, so cheap. You see their actions.
It's just about 1 o'clock, and it is time for the talk. Now, I know that many of you are waiting, and let's start this way. You must have heard of this video that's gone viral. It is one of the young men of La Plaine receiving a house, a dashing house. It was famously called by the Prime Minister and Peter Serjeant. What it is that this particular gentleman was one of those that was actually allegedly beaten up by Peter Serjeant on accusations of having stolen his dashing. And miraculously, he was beaten up, and there was talk of taking legal action. All of that ceased, and now we see the gentleman there very thankfully receiving his house. Let's listen to what he had to say. I think you'll find it very interesting indeed. So let's see if we can bring this up to you so that you can listen for yourself, and then we'll talk about it.
My pal rep, Mr. Peter Serjeant from La Plaine, and we all people from La Plaine, we should be, we're not supposed to be idiots. We have a good person. All of us, let's put our head together and follow Mr. Peter Serjeant. We have to forget, no matter even though I have blue, I vote blue enough in my life, and I never get nothing from them. And I want to thank Miss Henderson and Miss William. They're working in the government apartment. I want to thank Miss Henderson very much, and also Diane Baron, that advised me, we will vote for Labour, and they will give you something good. And listen, they bring an issue about dashing, but Mr. Serjeant hit me too late.
Oh, yes, indeed. Mr. Saint-Jean, he hit me too late, and everybody, without fail, dressed in red, burst out in applause and laughter. Laughing a man who just reported that he was beaten up by Peter Saint-Jean. Everybody, that's a big joke. People are laughing. This is probably one of the most disturbing pieces of video that I have seen ever, without fail. Let's go to the telephones. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Fountain here.
Yes, good afternoon.
Mr. Fountain from Lappin. How you doing?
Yes, doing well, doing well. I'm glad you were able to be the first caller as well, certainly.
Well, you know, I as one of the main man himself pushing this issue that brought this issue to light of the three men being beaten up in La Plaine, allegedly by the father by his son. Took the three main individuals in question to his garage and questioning them, interrogating them, where you have also the members of the Pentecostal church witnessing what was going on. Then later the police was called to assist him there, and then the police realized what he was doing was wrong, took the individuals down to the station, then released. This is disturbing. This is very, very disturbing. And to see that the commissioner of police, I'll come to this point as far into how many months now this has happened, and has not yet took action. It shows that the incompetence of the commissioner's position, that he can't do his work, as we're calling upon him, and as a local member of government, as I'm in La Plaine, calling on, and made numerous calls on the commissioner to address the situation. And now I hope he's watching and listening, that the minister and his followers are making mockery of what took place at his residence. And there is a crime committed here, whether it is kidnapping, whether it is battery, whether it is wrongful imprisonment. Something happened there, and now they are making a mock out of it. And this is just something that is totally unacceptable. And what message you're trying to send out to the public, that you can just hold people up and beat them up and then let them go. And you have a sitting minister of government who took action on this, and then put himself in between that kind of controversy that's going on. And yet still, you're going around arresting Thompson Fontaine, you're arresting all the opposition leaders for a demonstration that took place, and then you are not even taking this minister as question. This says something really, really strange to the people of Dominica, and by extension the diaspora. You see, Mr. Bundy, the thing is, again, what have we Dominica come to? What are we coming to in Dominica? What we are listening and watching, and then you have the minister from Grand Bay, who was Justina Charles, jumping and dancing, enjoying the laughter of what that individual said. And you can. But
it seems to me, Justin, it seems to me that the greatest amount of joy came out of them when they heard that he was beaten, apparently.
Absolutely, the man is clearly admitting that he was not. He was not beaten. He should have been beaten earlier, or he should have gotten beaten a long time ago. So you have gotten, in other words, you could have gotten his house long time if you had gotten beaten up by that power on his son. And he's clearly admitting this on social media and also on all the media outlets. And it's not alleged anymore, Mr. Fontaine. I would keep saying alleged, but it's a fact. It happened. He's thinking. But I don't know if you noticed. He mentioned two people in his statement: Henderson, which is better known as Missy, who works in the financial department upstairs, Financial Center. And also another lady here who had a supermarket who migrated to the diaspora, has advised him. There is something that we have to look at here. That's what he called. There is a bribery situation there as well, Mr. Fontaine, where an individual is advising Warrior to vote for Labour, and in turn he will receive something from the Labour Party.
I actually wrote it down. What he said, and I quote: "Vote for Labour will give you something good."
Absolutely. And I mean, is that something that the opposition leaders should jump? This is something that the opposition leaders should jump on, but to bring to the attention of Parliament. Whatever sanctions there may be, whatever course of action that you guys can take for that level, that an individual is advising that gentleman, that knowing that he is one of the individuals that was involved in the wrongful imprisonment for that Dashin situation, advising him to vote for Labour, and he will be rewarded greatly. This sends some red flags to me and some several concerns that the people of Dominica and the people of La Plaine are trying to be bribed to vote for Labour. If you remember the $253,000 that was allocated for this area during the general elections of the number of people who got material from J. Astafan and P.H. Williams. There's a whole list of people who got monies and materials. Once again, that's a clear demonstration of the minister and his government and associates trying to bribe the Laplin people. But let me send a clear message to him that the Laplin people will not be fooled. He needs to apologize to the entire community of that type of behavior. I don't believe, Mr. Fontaine, that he was expecting Warrior to make that statement, because it's brought to my attention that they were not happy that he went that far in talking so much and mentioning just that part on his speech. But nevertheless, God is not a police. He's not sleeping. And then Warrior went right ahead and slipped out his tongue and finally said it in open air that he should have been bitten earlier to get this house. And this just shows the disrespect, the continued disrespect to the Laplin people, and that will definitely not be tolerated. And I'm calling on the Commissioner of Police immediately to intervene in this matter. And I don't think we have passed the statute of limitations on what happened. It has not passed 6 months yet. You mentioned that there is no legal proceedings going on. I am going to make sure that this matter will be continued and continue to be investigated, because this cannot be continued. This type of behavior from a sitting minister of government as an education minister to set an example for the youths. This is the worst education minister I've ever seen pass in Dominica. I think this is something that raised the red flag on this island, and people of Dominica should stand up and not tolerate that type of behavior. I'm calling on the PM also to address this matter, and he should not entertain such behavior by his fellow ministers of cabinet to come to La Plaine. And not only him, the rest of the crew of them was rejoicing of the fact that the guy got bitten up and his houses are being endorsed as a dashing house.
This is
total answer. But Mr. Fontaine, one thing before I go, I want to know in reference slight pick, this is why we have to expose this government and have to expose these people in their cracks. They've been looking at me as someone who has been convicted, someone who has been in prison, and someone like this. But Mr. Fontaine, on Saturday, I want Ricky Blumen to answer this question. Why did he have to release 6 fertilizer bags to Gracia Fontaine on Saturday in La Plaine, and which was not a working day, which was not a day of distribution, and to my understanding that fertilizers was not given and being distributed to that district or to anyone. But I want Ricky Blumen to answer that question, and I'm going to ask the Minister of Agriculture, did he permit Ricky Blumen to distribute fertilizers on Saturday? That is off-topic subject here, but I'm not straying from the dashing situation.
But certainly an important question to ask, and I'm thankful that you're able to ask it here, and hopefully there'll be answers to this.
Absolutely.
All right, Justin, thank you very much for this. Thank you so much for your input on this and for the work you continue to do on behalf of the Laplin people.
Absolutely, and I just want Dominicans to remain strong, remain focused. The Freedom Party stayed in power for 15 years, and they are no longer here. They are good people, but Skerrit cannot be in government for the rest of his life. What he's doing is totally illegal and wrong. And when you continue giving people money and houses and toilets, I never realized that people actions became political. Flushing toilets became political, where you have to be distributing 75 toilets to the Laplin people. And this has becoming a nuisance. It's becoming actually annoying. I understand it's bringing a little type of stipend into the people's hands, but let me remind the people of La Plaine, do not be fooled by this political party, by they trying to come back and they're going around and trying to use the CDI program money to fool you, especially the Warrior Coffee, which is the recipient of that house, is a clear example and demonstration how far the Labour Party can go.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Jason, for that. We appreciate this, and certainly thank you for sharing with us this afternoon. There are several callers waiting to make their input, so let's go straight away to the telephones. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Dr. Thompson.
Yes, good afternoon.
What did the gentleman say who got the house? He said Peter Seja beat him too late?
Yes, basically saying that if he had gotten beaten earlier, you'd have gotten the house sooner.
Well, you see, we went on the radio making noise that they beat the man. You see, the man is well happy he got the blows. I am making noise for nobody again. I'm done with that. Have a nice day.
And I can't blame you at all. to the overseas line. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Fountain.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah. I was a teacher in Dominica, and I would have a hard time teaching in Dominica now with Peter Seja as Minister of Education. He is on one hand calling on parents to refrain from corporal punishment, and then he's here blowing a man and then bribing him. What are we coming to? What are we teaching our children? I am calling on Peter Seja to step down. That's no example to our children. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So you're calling on the good pastor there, Pastor Seja, to step down, indeed. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Thompson Fountain.
Yes, good afternoon.
And how are you?
Doing well, sir.
How is the family?
All is good.
Well, let us praise God. Mr. Thompson, yes, we blaming the forest about the minister and also the prime minister, but it's we that have to blame ourselves. What it takes for us to be more positive. We'll make sure the prime minister will never step down because the prime minister recognized already you can beat, you can do what you want, but as long as I come and I give you some fragment, you will accept me. We that have to make sure, take it more positive. Make sure you go in the street in the city and you make sure you demonstrate for your right, and you cannot do that for an hour, 2 hours, and when you finish the prime minister laughing because he's saying we're not positive. But if you take it on insurance and you make sure you in the city all turn, they turn, all move, they move. Look what you fighting for. That's your right. You cannot manage again. The prime minister boasting now he going for more money because the opposition messed that up, so he's still going back. And I don't know, I hear it on the news, he's going for more fun. And we make sure they said, and we, the prime minister cannot manage, because if we have to look under consideration, the prime minister him said, those that doing the fingernails here, going to give them some fun for them to extend their project. And look at project the prime minister have to do for Dominican to give you a little job. He make up his mind. He go further again. When a woman come with 3 children, 4 children, he cannot leave that woman go because the father does supporting the children. So he taking care of the woman and the 4 children. All that he bringing for us, you know. Who send the woman to get 4 children for, and make sure. Where's the husband? Where's the boyfriend? Bring him to court and make sure. If he cannot support, well, go in jail and government will support. I agree on that occasion. But don't tell me the woman only going and grab 3 children, 4 children and coming up and you're giving the woman money. So we don't think the prime minister taking all advantage on us because he's saying we not positive as we should be.
Thank you very much, Mr. Magloire. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes,
appreciate it. Thanks. More of the telephone calls. Good afternoon.
Doc, blessings to you, sir.
Yes, blessings.
Doc, I want people to take something into account or consideration. Doc, if it was not for Q95, these guys would get no homes. They would have not houses. They would not have been given any houses. I mean, Thompson.
So you are saying it was not the beating so much as the publicizing of the beating.
Publicity. That is what that exposes naked emperors. That is why they go trying to cover up. I mean, I give thanks to Mr. Fountain. But in the absence of Q95, Doc, you think he would have gotten coverage anywhere else?
That's correct. That's correct.
DBS, Skyrim, mapping, GIS, where he would have gone to expose the atrocities of this clown called Peter Seja. I'm being that blunt and rude. But people fail to understand. Look at the sequence of events, Doc. Skerrit went up there and he talked about dashing houses as well, you know. Can you imagine Skerrit calling up on Peter Seja and tell him anything, admonishing him or anything? Skerrit and Anthony Astafans tried to jail the opposition leader. My brother, people are taking this. Something is wrong with the psyche, the soul, the mentality. Something has gone wrong. I don't know if it's in the water, or if it's a spell, or is it that the shell of the country remain and the brains have done left. It's only the skull that is there. It seems like it is empty. Doc, Tony Astafans and Roosevelt Skerrit concocted a plan accusing the parliamentary opposition of leaking his information he submitted to the IPO, the Integrity in Public Office. Then they instructed the police to go at his home and investigate and search and all of that. In the investigations later down again, after they get nothing by the opposition leader, then they concluded that it was Anthony Astafans who did it. The same Roosevelt Skerrit who came out and said that somebody discloses information, they leak it out, and if it was Eddie Sir James, if it was somebody else, all what they would say and think. He came out and said that is he who authorized Anthony Astafans to leak out his information, and that matter die. Look at the matter in La Plaine, it die, and Dominicans waiting for them to win Skerrit by the ballot. They're waiting to remove Skerrit by what? No law, no constitution, by promises of another electoral reform. Dominicans sleep tight. Sleep tight. The ramifications shall intensify for you all to come to the realization these criminals are not joking. They will kill to remain where they are. So just wait to die and not think of killing to defend your country and yourself. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Thank you, caller. As we continue here, 25 past the hour. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Said with democracy and that Labour government, it just don't mesh. That government really seems to be a rogue government. And to me, this legal thing about voting, that doesn't look like this guy's net. These guys need to be kicked out of office, period. Bye-bye.
Thank you, caller. More of your telephone calls. Good afternoon.
Dr. Fountain, good afternoon. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Man, this is so embarrassing. This is so laughable. I cannot believe Dominica is still a country. And all I can say, this is just a landmass with a lot of, animals and whatever on it. Because, seriously, what I'm hearing coming from Dominica, man, it cannot be a country. That cannot be a country. It is so embarrassing, and it is even more embarrassing to reveal myself overseas as a Dominican. And I am almost on the verge of renouncing my country of birth. And as long as things go on as they are, I'm not saying I will never come back to Dominica. There are reasons I may come back, but not voluntarily, not for a vacation, none of the above. Things have to change. Have a good day, sir.
Yes, thank you very much, caller. Sharing some frustration there on the state of affairs in this country of ours. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Dr. Fontaine.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, the blessings was on point. He hit the hammer on the head, or he hit the nail on the head. With that thing about that dashing and that fellow who got the blows. Had it not been for Q95, he maybe would have just only gotten a coffin. That's all he would have gotten. After.
Yes, good afternoon, caller. It's 27 past the hour. More of your telephone calls. Good day to you. Hello? You are listening to your computer. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I just turned it off.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dr. Fountain, are you hearing me now?
Yes, I am. Mm-hmm.
Dr. Fountain, on the 7th of January, there was this meeting or demonstration, whatever you want to call it, and it disrupted traffic in the whole of Kennedy Avenue. All right? On this meeting coming on the 31st, from Pottersville to Lago, is going to disrupt traffic again. So why not start? If we can disrupt traffic in Roseau, why not bring these big meetings and demonstrations in Salisbury? Why not bring it to Portsmouth? Why not bring it to Marigot and disrupt the same kind of traffic? We seem to be concentrating on Roseau. We should move it around. Let us go down and to Salisbury and have a meeting on the Salisbury Road with the same amount of people which came out on the 7th of February. But having these demonstrations or meetings or whatever you want to call them in Roseau to me, after time, is not going to have any effect. You've got to get out of Roseau. You have got to get into the streets of Marigat. You have got to get into the streets of Portsmouth, or on the way between Wesley and Portsmouth, or you have got to get into Lapland. You have got to get into the to Roseau, not Roseau, sorry, Newtown. You've got to move out of Roseau. That's my contribution, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, caller. As we continue with your telephone calls, let's say good afternoon to you. Hello, good afternoon. Go ahead, please. Okay, it's 29 past the hour of 1 o'clock. We are tuned in to Talk on the Block for today, the 20th day in the month of March, and we seem to be having to not be able to hear this caller, so let's try this other caller. Yeah, good afternoon.
Good day, good day.
Yes, good day.
I think those guys, they're all done. They're done. Now, I believe the way things work, you know, they're in position that they can do whatever they believe they can do and think they are right about everything. But when they're out, I think that is the greatest part. The greatest thing is God works in mysterious ways. And he might be using them to do certain things. Then eventually things going to come different in Dominica, like, you know, the whole financial thing, all the monies, they might just get down to ground zero. You know, like somebody have a lot of money and they just lose everything. That's it. That's what you're going to see happening.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. You can live up to it. Because you cannot have a lot of people suffering, nothing happening in Roseau. Everybody kind of frustrated. You know, I walk in town some time ago and it's like, I watching a little boy and his mom sit down by the roadside selling in some buffet, right? The other people that doing their own business and nobody taking them on is like, the little guy must be going to school and right now he's not in school because of public financial situation or something. But if you take a close look at it, I think that government going to fall down, all the way down, that they might be begging as well. Anyway, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, caller. But when you think about the level of injustice in Dominica, when you have a prime minister creating a crime, ordering the police to go and arrest Claudia Sanford, Joseph Isaac, Thompson Fontaine, Oswald Judge, to go after these individuals on the creation of a crime in his mind, when you have Tony Asafan creating a situation in his mind and ordering the police to go into the home of Lennox Linton, possibly to arrest him and search his house and ransack his home. When you have senior counsel Lennox Alec Lawrence listening to a statement from Mr. Lugan saying that this statement was intended to him and ordering the police to go and arrest, and he was arrested, and you have a crime being done or crime having occurred in a village, and the police does nothing. They simply sit on their hand like this is fine. Something is wrong with this picture, and this needs to stop. It needs to change. This is not good. This is absolutely not good for this country. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Thompson.
Yes, sir.
And good evening to your listeners. Thompson, you know why these things are going on? Because they are not held, there are no consequences to their actions or their inactions. For example, the other day I heard the Honorable Minister for Tourism talk about how what incompetent or whatever the Dominican contractors were, the absence of their ability to build bridges. And when somebody suggested that you boycott his business, people say, oh, it's a family thing. The thing about it is this. His father is my very good friend. I've known him since I used to moonshine selling insurance with Mr. John Davis, who died many years ago. The consequence would be, if he knew that his business was going to be boycotted, he would talk to his son and say, look, that is not the kind of behavior you know that I brought up you with. That is not the kind of business conduct I would like you to display. You're a minister of government, however, you also have responsibility. So it is because we do not hold these people to, there are no consequences to their action. Could you imagine a minister beats people in his basement? He's not no allege anymore. He beats people in his basement. He gives one of them a house and mocks them, mocks the people that you treated that way. The police was present, they took no action. Why is it that there is no consequence to their action or their inaction? Yet, you get a young guy on the corner with a little spliff. What is the consequence of his action? He's arrested by the police and imprisoned. A poor man is hungry. He doesn't have money. He takes a pack of quick biscuit in a supermarket. What the court tell him the consequences? He goes to prison for a pack of biscuit. You have a government minister assaulting people. There's no consequence. You have the prime minister concocting a crime to lock up an innocent man. There's no consequence. Mr. Astafan inciting riot, race division. There's no consequence. This is a matter that we must start talking to the legal system. The judges, the magistrates, the registrar, the Eastern Caribbean Court, whatever administration of the courts, we as Dominicans must start telling these people, we are people who contribute to the system and we demand the services that they are supposed to provide to our citizenry.
Yes, indeed.
Why is it that the judges in Dominica have a difficulty with any case involving the Prime Minister and his associates? Why is it that the workers on the port are waiting 13 years for some commission to report? Why is it that the young man who was fired at Melville Hall is still waiting for decision from a court? Why is it that the public works employees are still languishing, waiting for a decision from a court? Why is it that the court told Skerritt that he was not supposed to bring a passport that he held, that he had, to court? And we sit in Dominica and we're talking about election and peaceful protest. It is time that Dominicans arise, tell all these judges their time have expired, their visit to Dominica is unwelcome and they are no longer welcome. Either change the system or we will change it physically. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. 24 before the hour of 2 o'clock. We continue with your calls this afternoon. Good day to you.
Yeah, Mr. Fontaine here again.
Yes.
Let me just correct for the record for Mr. Blessing's call earlier about QN 5. This was only was brought out. There was copies that were sent to the Caribbean News Now and then All International as well, like to the Massachusetts Cemetery, which is a blog, but they have put it on. So we made awareness of what took place. Yes, Q95 is the station. And another thing, with the two other gentlemen, when you mentioned that there is the legal proceeding has ceased, these two other gentlemen who are involved in this matter, they have their lawyers, they have their attorneys, and at present, there is legal action that's going to be taking place with reference to this matter. With that individual who received the house, he will be subpoenaed to court upon the time when the time comes. But right now, there is and there will be justice for this other two individuals which are willing to go ahead and then ask for justice on their behalf as well.
Awesome. Well, that's great to hear, and I thank you for clarifying that. That is good. Thanks so much for the clarifications. Thank you. More of your telephone calls. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Dr. Funky. How you doing?
Doing okay, doing good.
Excellent. Thanks for taking my call, and I want to say good afternoon to all your listeners out there. Dr. Fontaine, I got a couple questions for you. Maybe you can help me with this. Number one, concerning Peter Seja in La Plaine and the gentleman who said that Peter should have beat him earlier. I was thinking, does it have, or do they have a lineup now in La Plaine, people waiting to be beaten? Like maybe by, I don't even know the big cross in La Plaine. I don't even have a lineup there where people waiting to be beaten, and maybe the worse beating you get, the bigger the house you get.
Not a bad question to ask at all in the circumstances.
Yeah, it looked like the more blows you get, if they can break your foot, burst your head, cut off your hand, you might get a bigger house. Now, as to how useful the house would be for you, I don't know. But it looked like that's the trend. So I'm asking La Plaine people if they're ready to be beaten so they can get a police. You know, that's how poor and how the ability to think have gone away, right, to the extent where they have to line up to get beaten, hold on, get held up in somebody's house, right? And after they blows, then the government will consider giving them a home. It looked like for Roseau Central, you have to be able to afford. As long as you can pay $1,500 or more, you get a home. So it's not for poor people anymore. The poor people, the poor mother out there with 2 or 3 children, trying to survive, trying to make sure she has shelter and food on the table, trying to get a job every day to see if she can put that food on the table, don't deserve that. She's not poor. She not up to the par. Right? At the same time, you have a government, what I would say, condoning violence, supporting violence, and then the same government talking about to obey the law. How you can obey the law when you encourage violence? You're telling your people, you tell your representative, go beat people and then we'll give them house. And then the police sit down there. Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So you can be so soon, it look like the police themselves have to line up to get beaten for them to get something. Right? I know they're getting 0-0 now. Maybe the reason why they're getting 0 now is that they haven't gotten any physical blows yet. Right? So soon they're going to have to start following the line so that they can get beaten in order for them to get a house. And then I heard the Prime Minister saying the other day that the people that get in the passport or the CBI citizenship, right, that they're not coming down and vote because they have to, the law say that you have to live in the country for a while, if it's 6 months or so, before you can vote. But yet over the past years, there have been importing people that have lived out of the country for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. So actually, you know the law, right? But you're breaking the law. You're abusing the law. And then when it's convenient for you, you're saying, well, they have to live in the country for such and such a years. I just don't know what's going on. They say, oh, people have memory pool, and it looks like it's really true. It looks like worse than memory pool, right? But all I can say, in all the money Skerrit have thrown around there, how much millions you have? 32 million for election, 300,000 go to wherever. The Marigot Hospital still need to be rebuilt and still need to be placed there so that the people in that vicinity can have access to health care. Right now I hear they're airlifting supporters and whoever to Antigua for medical care. And I have no problem in people going somewhere better to get medical service. But if they can be airlifted to Antigua and elsewhere, I'm suggesting that if the health care in Marigot is good enough for the people of that district, then it should be good enough for them. So airlift all government supporters and government officials. When they say airlift them to Menville Hall, we will put them in the Marigot Hospital, close or not, right? Airlift them to Marigot Hospital, right? Because that's what they give us, that's what the people they have to survive with, that they themselves should be able to survive with. So airlift all who's sick, all the laborers that's sick, all the laborers that want to make their children, go to Marigot Hospital. Okay, it's a hospital for you, it's a hospital for Dominicans. So go Marigot Hospital and make your children there, right? We got all the Woodlands expertise waiting for all of this. So go to Marigot Hospital. Thank you, Mr. Fountain.
Thank you very much, caller. You know, the level of injustice in this country is staggering. Absolutely staggering. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dr. Fountain, and good afternoon to your distinguished listeners, Doc.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes, go ahead, please. Okay, I'm not sure what happened. We suddenly are not able to hear you. But please call back. It's 18 before the hour of 2 o'clock. This is Talk on the Block for today, Monday. And this is what we have been discussing. So I'm just going to play this again for you really quickly in case you're just joining us and you missed it earlier, what all of this is about.
My pal rep, Mr. Peter Sergeant from Lapland. We all people from Lapland, we should be, we're not supposed to be idiots. We have a good person. All of us, let's put our head together and follow Mr. Peter Sergeant. No matter even though I have blue, I vote blue enough in my life, and I never get nothing from them. Miss Henderson and Miss William, they work in the government apartment. I want to thank Miss Henderson very much, and also Diane Baron, that advised me we will vote for Labour and they will give you something good. And listen, they bring an issue about taxing, but Mr. Sejon hit me too late.
Yes, indeed. Here you have it. Simply, I just can't get past the screaming, including the minister from Granby. Simply incredible. Wow. 16 before the hour of 2 o'clock. Every time I hear this video, it has the same impact on me. Renders me speechless. And to see the reaction of this minister, he's supposed to be aware of what happened and to be rejoicing, ecstatic, the glow and the joy in her face, rejoicing over this. Unbelievable. Good afternoon.
Dr. Fountain and the public, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon to you.
Saltfish, lamoury and codfish is the same thing. It just have been spelled differently, you know. All now so petitions should be giving him blues. It's a jackass. Foolish people. And unless they don't make people stop using them like they socks for their shoes, they will not get any respect. Retarded. Have a blessed afternoon. That is so disgraceful to watch and to hear. And he not seen how those people in the red laughing at him. He not seen it. He making a foolish out of. He not seen that he expected. He not glorified. They glorifying him. They just making a mash of him because he's so stupid. Have a blessed afternoon. Take care. Thanks.
And thank you so much for this. More of your telephone calls. Good afternoon.
Yes, Dr. Fountain.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm hearing this for my very first time because, you know, I don't have smartphone like everybody else. And I'm not a lawyer at all. But I think that could be evidence in that particular case, you know, that to bring to the court to say that the guy said Peter really hit him, but he should have hit him earlier. I think that is evidence against Peter Seja. So Peter Seja, you know, you hit a real fool. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. You wonder about even the guy's, you know, state of mind and whether or not Mr. Seja was taking advantage of somebody who might be of some diminished capacity. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Somebody who tell the man to say that.
To say?
He didn't say that by himself. Somebody who taught him to lie and say that.
To lie and say what? Lie and say that he was beaten, or about the house?
They tell him to talk and to criticize the other part.
Okay, I get you. Well, thanks for sharing that with us this afternoon. Thank you so much for calling. More of the telephone calls. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Dr. Fountain.
Yes, good afternoon.
I think you just hit the point I was about to make. Whatever this guy, his actions and his statements, I mean, it speaks volume. He's actually admitted he was beaten. Okay, there's no question about it. What I'm wondering, was he beaten into submission? And what else happened in that basement? That's the $1 million question. What happened in that basement? Is it a torture chamber? Is there something more sinister going on in Dominica? And right now, we do not have, you know, the court system to go to be able to address these issues. Snowden made this statement once. He says, when exposing a crime is treated as committing a crime, you are ruled by criminals. We are being run by a criminal enterprise, and something needs to be done. It is not going to be solved domestically. We need the international community to intervene right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this. Thank you so much. More of your telephone calls. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon again. Some Dominicans are so paranoid. They will take their own two good eyes and see that people wrap in feces in foil paper and give it to them. They will still eat it and say it's peanut butter. That is how people are so paranoid in this country. Have a blessed afternoon.
Thank you so much for sharing this. Let's take some more of your telephone calls at 11 before the hour of 2 o'clock. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
What I'm hearing there is just like somebody have their daughter and somebody's abusing them and they're taking everything for granted.
Yes.
Yeah, that is just what I'm hearing there. It's just like you have your young daughter and a man is abusing her and just giving her, every time he abuses her, he give her something and that is the end of it. So that is why, and you hearing people shouting, yeah, what if the man had a broken rib or he had to remove an eye of the man? Huh? And people have that laughing and saying, yeah, they're joking about it. Dominican, you have to stand up. You see, when those things happen, you have to put down your foot and support your family. Because I find that is just nonsense in Dominica now. People they're bribing people. And people just have to take it and just walk away with it. And you hear any man, I don't think this man I don't think this man have good mind. People just beating people and people just taking it and laughing. Oh, I get a house, I get a something and that's it. And the law not saying anything about it. Man, well, it's better people beat people and beat them back. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this. And that is where the injustice comes in, you know. Independently of this guy, the police should be able to go in there and do an arrest and investigate this crime, because the crime clearly was committed. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Yes, good afternoon.
Doctor, I just hear in the click there, first my hearing it. I really a Dominican or an Aplinian. I ask myself this question. That is the way we come in Dominica. That is the kind of level we reach. And you had the gentleman talking about the vote workers too long, too many times and never get nothing. How long workers stay in power for people to get? Huh?
Yeah.
Well, I can't understand. You think that man have a good head? I don't believe that.
Well, that's what we were wondering. Not necessarily a good head, but if in terms of his capacity, it might be diminished. I can't imagine anybody receiving that kind of severe beating, and then you're laughing about it because you got a house.
And you hear the minister voice, according to a Christian. Oh my God, it's so disgrace. It's very bad. I'm laughing. So sorry for laughing. Bye bye.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for this. Let's take some more of your calls as we come down towards the 2 o'clock hour. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm wondering, are the people voting for their country or they voting for something? That is how Dominica come. Their country is not important. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's a good question, because it seems that is the new norm. What are you? I'm going to vote for you. What are you giving me? And we saw it. My constituency, guys were receiving $1,000 right on the line. I saw people being approached, to being offered bribes to vote. So that is how this Labour Party government has corrupted Dominica, and that is where we are. This is the sad state of this country, people. We need to wake up. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dr. Thompson.
Yes, good afternoon.
But while we are talking, is that a new standard that people abuse people, then give them something, and then they themselves come and testify that no, nothing is so wrong about that, because I get paid? Is that acceptable now?
But we've seen that kind of behavior before. I seem to recall there was a case with this guy who was shot in the buttocks, right? And you remember what happened to this case?
Yeah, but the point is now you have the police department that is investigating the matter. Let's say they want evidence. Now that alone can tell you. Now if the man is proven to not be in good state of mind, then again is under duress. They have that man to say that thing. So again, anyhow it comes, is a matter for investigation, and those responsible should be punished. I'm saying we cannot just sit by and agree, well, that is it. So I want to know if that's a new standard, and then so the law doesn't apply to bad behavior anymore, because if that is the standard and becomes the norm and the police will not react, then something, what are we going to do? Dominica is really, boy, we problem, my boy.
deep problem, yes.
Serious situation there, Thank you. Good afternoon.
Yes, thank you, and good afternoon to you. More of the telephone calls. Good afternoon.
Doc,
Yes, sir.
Let us try not to blame the victim. If the brother sounds like somebody, I do not think that brother can even read or write. Can that brother understand what it is to govern a country, what it is to vote, what it means by having a democratic system, or having to do with the Constitution and the law? Does he know anything? Please, I listen to the brother. He sounds like he's way, way, way off, like once upon a time I was. Please, let us not make him the villain. He's the victim, just like you and I. The victim of this honorable criminal. What I need to hear is Peter Sergent, Peter Pepper is still a pastor, Doc?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Doc, where's the bishop? The other day, him talking about his Lent and how people these days is a kind of way people are not respecting Lent and calling for peace and everybody calling for peace. Where are the other churches? Where's the bishop? Where's everybody? And they're listening. They're aware of all of that. But guess what? Those that are being victimized have no money. So the devil have the money. They will make a deal with the devil and bypass the angels of God because they haven't got money to give them. So Dominicans have to come to the realization the church is in on the onslaught on Dominicans. Do not fool yourselves. They give that, let me not call her name, how much? $13,000. As soon after they give to them, couple months after, a guy killed there. A guy died there in a construction. And it seems like they go to give Bingi money. Tell them that how much Bingi people are dying. They burn tabernacle. These devils. All you will have to do what all you have to do. What I will say, what I have to say. And do what I have to do too if push come to shove. Or you're too dumb, iniquitous and diabolic and evil and corrupt. And those who sit in aside, silent and watching the day pass by. And guess what? I don't want to fight. Me before they burn my house. Me before they do my child list. Don't worry, the judgment still have to meet you. No stone will be left unturned. Retribution for our wicked actions in this country. The ramification is going to intensify.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. Let's take a couple more calls quickly. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Is this person stable? He sounds like someone who is not so well. He sounds like someone, who has some kind of physical, not physical, but some emotional.
Mental, probably just, like I said, probably he's not fully, comprehending and so on, because
exactly.
You can tell from his speech, yeah.
So he is physically abused, he's emotionally abused, and all this thing. I think something really should be done with this person who actually abused the guy, because I don't think he's so right in his head. The way he talked, Okay, have a good day.
Thank you so much. And taking advantage of these of the more vulnerable in society is a no-no. Good afternoon.
Thompson Fountain, good afternoon to you, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
Thompson, I haven't heard this guy in terms of what he said verbatimly, but based on what I'm hearing the people saying, my input to your program this afternoon, Thompson, I know that this regime will go at all lengths to basically stay in power. And this is just an iota of things to come. Thompson, in the absence of justice, there will be no peace. And Thompson, I am calling on the church leaders this afternoon, the men of the cloth, the people who sit in the pews in this building, Saturday, Sunday, whenever you choose to. I am asking that they search their consciences and find it, because if we continue on this track, this lawless track, Dominica, my friend, Dominica, the rest of the islands will just say, alas. But Thompson, it will be too late. These people cannot just sit by, call themselves Christianity, and say absolutely nothing. But that is not Christianity. Do not come and talk Christ to me. You have to act Christ-like. And we are talking too much Christ-like language in this country and not acting, Thompson. And that is where some of our problems start. We are too hypocrite in this country. It is not a matter of what happened, but it is a matter of who do it. And Thompson, I can only see Dominica. If we don't come out from that track, I can only see a doom and gloom day for this country, my brother. Thanks for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's take just the final caller, and we're going to ask you to be quick. We have only 1 minute left. Good afternoon.
What is wrong with Alex Boyd Knight brains? What is wrong with Robbie Tongue brains? Alex Boyd Knight is better red than dead. Listen to Robbie talking all that rubbish lately. Robbie know this